Uzun Hasan just built the scariest villain camp we've seen in this show yet. And honestly, I think Sultan Mehmed's side needs to catch up fast. Let's talk about what's coming in Season 4 of Mehmed Fetihler Sultanı, because there's a lot to unpack. Here's the thing about good historical dramas. They're only as good as their villains. Think about it. Season 3 gave us Vlad, and everyone remembers how much tension he brought to every scene. Well, it looks like the writers know that too, because they're clearly stacking up Uzun Hasan's camp to be just as intimidating, maybe even more. So who's joining him? First up, we've got Öznur Çerçeler stepping into the role of Despina Hatun, Uzun Hasan's wife. Now here's a fun historical detail. Her real name was Theodora Miguel Comnene, and she came from the Empire of Trebizond. If that name sounds familiar, it should, because we actually watched that empire fall in Season 3. So there's a nice thread connecting the seasons here. She joins Deniz Barut, who's already playing Uzun Hasan's first wife, Selçuk Shah Hatun. Two wives, two very different backgrounds. That's already setting up some interesting family dynamics. But the casting news that's really got people talking is Kürşat Alniyazik. He's playing Munshi Tahrani, who was Uzun Hasan's trusted advisor and tutor. And look, I'll just say it, I think this is going to be one of the most important characters of the season. Why? Because every great hero needs an equally clever enemy pulling the strings behind the scenes. And that's exactly the role this character is set up to play. Uzun Hasan's schemes against Sultan Mehmed? I'd bet this guy is behind most of them. Then there's Hasan Deniz Yaran, who's set to play Uzun Hasan's son, a character born to one of his wives from a different tribal background. And this is where it gets really interesting for the next few seasons, because this character is expected to have a huge rivalry with Şehzade Bayezid. We're talking about a conflict that could mirror the whole Vlad versus Mehmed dynamic we already know, possibly even playing out at the historic Battle of Otluk Belli. So keep an eye on that one. It sounds like it's going to be a long-running storyline. There's also a bit of a correction floating around. Remember Noyan Özer, the actor we thought was playing Messi Pasha? Turns out that's not quite right. He's actually playing Messi Bey, who's Uzun Hasan's son, not the historical Messi Pasha we saw earlier in Barbaros. Small mix-up, but worth clearing up. Now let's flip over to Sultan Mehmed's side, because his camp is getting some reinforcements too. Ali Dushkin has joined as Mehmed Rum Pasha, and fans have honestly been waiting for this one since last season. Historically, this is the guy who became Grand Vizier after Mahmud Pasha was executed, serving from 1467 to 1470. So this casting fills in a piece of history the show's been building toward for a while. There are also some unconfirmed rumors going around, nothing official yet, that Yiğit Kılınç might be playing an older Şehzade Mustafa, showing up after a time jump in the story. We'll have to wait and see if that gets confirmed. And Dr. Küçük is set to play Mirza Maksud, someone close to his father's inner circle. As for who'll play Mustafa specifically, still no confirmed casting there. But honestly, that's not too surprising. This production seems to like keeping a few surprises up their sleeve. I wouldn't be shocked if we get 4 or 5 more casting announcements for Sultan Mehmed's side before this is all said and done. Behind the scenes, there's some movement too. Rabia Sultan Düzenli has taken over as casting director, and historian Kore Sherbetçi has joined as the show's official history consultant, which should help the writers keep the historical details sharp and accurate going forward. And yet, since then, barely any historical drama has picked him up. It's been years, and I genuinely don't understand why a performance that strong hasn't led to more roles. So here's my ask to the Mehmed Fetihler Sultanı team, give this guy a shot. I think he'd be perfect for a Pasha role. So that's everything for today. 2 camps are building up fast, some rivalries are already brewing, and there's clearly more casting news on the way. Let me know what you think in the comments, especially if you've seen Barbaros and remember that performance I mentioned.